Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we have something a little different. Y'all know every now and then I like to do a deck from my play group, and this is Danny's Grand Arbiter Augustin the Fourth deck. I'm sure there's a Grand Arbiter is what I've always called it. But typically, once you see this in the command zone, you're like, I don't know. But white spells you cast one less. Blue spells you cast one less. The reason why they wrote that twice instead of just white and blue is because if you have an actual Azorius spell that is both white and blue, it costs two less. Yeah. And then everybody else's spells cost one more. Yeah. It's typically used as just a oppressive. But Danny built this and he said, you know what? I did humans. And I was like, huh. Now, this is an amazing deck. It came down, it was a 5-player game. I played against it once. It was a 5-player game. It came down to me and him. I was playing frogs. I don't know if y'all have seen frogs yet. But anyway, let's get to it. Mana ramp? Sure. He has a Soul Ring, a Mana Crypt, a Jeweled Lotus, a High Tide, and a Smothering Tithe. I count Smothering Tithe as a mana ramp because, let's face it, very few people pay the 2, and it produces some mana. Just a little bit of card draw. Loyal Drake and Consecrated Sphinx. I don't know that we can call Consecrated a little bit because it is. If the Consecrated Sphinx is not answered, it generates so much value that, I mean, you get so many cards off of it. Even just one round of the table, and it's paid for itself. So, but before we get into the humans, let me show you what beat me. Let's see. First, he played Jace the Mind Sculptor. He was just using Jace as the brainstorm, right? Teferi, Master of Time, came out. Elspeth came out like the first walker, and she got swatted down pretty quick. I don't remember by who. Never saw Teferi Slows the Sunset. I don't remember seeing Teferi Temporal Archmage. But the turn he ultimated this one, I said, you know what? I can't do anything. But he has a lot of protection to protect these walkers. I know, and just mainly things standing in the way. First, we're going to show you the cards that are not humans. Because for humans deck, he does have 9 cards that are not humans, but they are all really kind of good, you know. Giver of Runes is a core cleric. Coveted Peacock, you know, goading that creature. Windborn Muse is just another propaganda effect. Brago. Blink. Solitude is a creature, but it's hard for me to classify this as a creature. This is, it's a removal spell. Loyal Unicorn. You just don't take combat damage on your turn. Leonin Arbiter. Players can't search libraries. It's a big deal. Sun Titan to get any of those little humans back. Elish Norn to just be Elish Norn. You know, Elish Norn does what she wants to do. It's a great card. There's a lot of decks. I have a lot of decks that just can't come back from, you know, resolving into Elish Norn. So let's look at some humans. We've got the Speaker of the Heavens. I hear that's doing work on Arena. I don't know. Sanctifier in Vec. Pro Black and Red. Exile all cards that are black or red from all graveyards. And then, yeah, this might be one of those, you know, good humans that get overlooked. Arena Rector. He does have some walkers in the deck, and thank goodness I didn't see this one, but it's one heck of a Magic card, right? Lavinia. Now, there is a certain... The popular aspect of the Grand Arbiter build is you can't. Or Magic costs more. And there's a little bit of that in here, mainly because, I mean, that's where blue-white humans lead you, but each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana cost greater number of lands they control, so that keeps them from cheating out those big things. Champion of the Parish. It's a human deck. Keeper of the Accord. Niambi. Yeah. Bounce that creature. Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster Mage is a beautiful card. Brago loves Snapcaster Mage. Yeah. I saw it a couple of times. Odric Lunarch Marshall. What I like to call Papa Smurfs, because, they share and share alike. Mother of Runes is an amazing human. Guafa Hazid, trying to control that attack step. Sakashima just being another of whatever it is that you need. One of my personal favorites, I played this on the Brainstorm game. Lost terribly with it, by the way, but I did play Teferi. It's a great, great card. It does a lot of work. That last line is really what you play it for. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Thalia, Heretic Cathar. And then the Sanctum Prelate. Just can't be cast. That's Now, he's got some enchantments in here, and we'll start off with why. Sphere of Safety. I had to jump through some hoops. There was one time where I had to pay 7 mana per creature just to attack him. Sorry, I keep moving. I'm trying to keep that glare off. He uses a whole lot of foils. It's really pretty. But Sphere of Safety, of course he's got Propaganda, Ghostly Prison. The Rule of Law does work too, because he has a lot of counter magic in here, and if each player can only play one spell per turn, they play their spell, he counters it, they're done. Paladin class, Monk class, and Diplomatic Immunity rounds out the enchantments. But Norn's Annex is kind of into the honorary enchantment, right? Because it does propaganda-ish things. This is the first time I've ever seen this card, Inevitable Betrayal. It's wild. I like it, but when I was just going through his deck just now, I was like, what is this? Put that card on the battlefield under your control. Yeah, it's bribery. Suspend bribery. Of course, the Teferi's Protection. And we're going to... Isochron Scepter, I did manage to destroy or counter something to Isochron Scepter, but Isochron Scepter, let's look at what he can put on it. First off, he's got Holy Day, which is, an amazing card. Counter magic-wise, he has Counterspell, Remand, Swan Song, Mana Drain, Daze. Of course, all these can be put on the stick. He's got three more counters. Let's go ahead and get them out of the way, even though they're too expensive for the staff. The Fierce Guardianship, Force of Will, and Force of Negation. All amazing cards. But back to that staff, he could totally put the Sword to Plowshare or the Path to Exile on it. I guess you could put Cyclonic Rift on there, but you don't want to, Cyclonic Rift is just one of the pinnacles of our format, no matter how much I don't want it to be. That beautiful promo capsize. Oh, so beautiful. This is the only way it exists in foil. I love this card. It is super abusable, but it is very, very nice. By invitation only, I think, is one of the best board wipes that they have printed in recent years. There's not a lot of ways to come back from sacrifice. I don't care if your thing is shroud or indestructible or whatever. I'm gonna play this. I'm probably gonna choose 0, or I'm sorry, probably gonna choose 13. And yeah, it's just Imprison in the Moon is a great card. He loves to imprison people's commanders because it's so dang effective. You know, they don't go back to the command zone, so they just sit there. And if the deck is built around that commander, it just cripples the whole deck. Time Wipe. I like the Time Wipe. I think this is totally worth 5 mana because you get to save your one thing, probably your commander, to avoid that tax. You know, if it goes back to your hand, you just pay retail for it. So, and then Supreme Verdict, when everything must go. He plays with, let's see, I have 8 non-basic lands. I don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He's running 34 lands. And these are the non-basics. He has a Port Town, a Nimbus Maze, Seachrome Coast, Command Tower, Glacial Fortress, Sea of Clouds, Irrigated Farmland, and Reliquary Tower. And that is it for his Grand Arbiter deck. I can tell you it is pretty fierce. And by the way, today's public service announcement, kill the Planeswalkers. Just get rid of the Planeswalkers. Because if you don't, you'll wish you did. Put all this back in his deck box here. Grand Arbiter up front. Get the basic lands. But that is his Grand Arbiter deck. It being Friday today when I am recording this, I will probably have to play against this tonight. Y'all wish me luck. But that's it. That's what I've got till next time. We'll see you tomorrow.